Hello. My it's Paul Bergen again from the Mars Hill blog. Find it www.paulbergin paulburgin.blogspot.co.uk. Doing part of a series of vlogs on political heroes of mine who I think helped change society for the better. Today I'm looking at another British Prime Minister, and one of just about the most outstanding Labour leader this country has had, and that's Clement Attlee. Attlee was born in 1883. He was part of a prestigious family, and he went to the public school Haileybury, and then went to Oxford, studying to be a barrister. He started off in his politics as being quite imperialist and right-wing and conservative, but his experience of poverty in East End in helping a charity there really opened up his eyes, and he became quite left-wing quite quickly, got involved in the Labour Party. The First World War intervened. He was a major in the armed forces and showed a degree, I think, of exemplary soldiering. He was then elected to Parliament in 1922 for Stepney in London. He represented London constituency his whole parliamentary career. He wasn't a minister, I think, in the first Labour government in 24, but in the second one, 29 to 31. He first of all served on the Simon Commission, looking at Dominion status for India, which was one of his successes in being one of the many involved in giving independence to India. He was a minister following the resignation of Sir Oswald Mosley in 1930 in the government, becoming Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster. He joined the Labour Party in walking out the government in 1931, when the Prime Minister and Labour leader Ramsay MacDonald aimed to form a national government with the Conservatives. Due to the general election, the heavy defeat of Labour in that general election, Attlee went from being a government minister without cabinet status to becoming deputy leader of the Labour Party. And he showed there was nothing particularly charismatic or brilliant about him, but he showed his talents were pretty much attention to detail, a sharp needle brain, and seen the whole picture. He was a very, very good administrator at a time when that was desperately needed. He was pretty much a foil for Churchill, his wartime coalition partner, and for many years his political opponent, in that Churchill had the emotion and the pragmatism and the oratory, whereas Attlee had the business acumen in terms of ability and administration. They worked very well together as a team. In 1935, Attlee became Labour leader when George Lansbury's pacifism during a time of great difficulty became too much. This is obviously when the likes of Hitler and Mussolini and the imperialism in Japan were just becoming very clear what sort of a threat they were. He was leader of the opposition until 1940, and in the wartime coalition he was Deputy Prime Minister, first time such a title was used, for a brief period of time also Secretary for Dominion Affairs. Labour won a heavy landslide in the 1945 general election, and in his time as Prime Minister we saw the creation of the National Health Service, widescale nationalisation, and the creation of the welfare state, foundations that have helped many of the poor and vulnerable in society, not just then but right through to this day. and have been so successful the Conservatives haven't dared do more than to try and tinker with it. He is close to defeat in 1950 and finally was defeated in a 51 general election, but he remained Labour leader until 1955, where he lost again in a general election here to Sir Anthony Eden, the new Prime Minister, and within 8 months he resigned as Labour leader after an incredible 20 years in a post. He then entered the House of Lords and remained until his death in 1967. He was not really all that charismatic, but he had an innate sense of what worked and what didn't, and had a strong administrative skill, as I said, at a time when it was really needed. If you ever see on YouTube, there's a video of him being interviewed by Sir Robin Day of the BBC during the general election night of 1964, when it was clear Wilson was going to be Prime Minister. And his answers are brief and to the point. It's quite incredible. I think he was the first British Prime Minister to be interviewed on television, albeit after office. And I think to sum up, in the end, the best way to sum up Attlee's achievements in the face of what his detractors said about him was a limerick he wrote to his brother Tom at the end of after he had retired. Some said he wasn't a starter. There were others who were even smarter. But he ended up PM, CHOM, an Earl, and a Knight of the Garter. Thank you.